Today we have a head-to-head match at USF on 6/16/2019 between myself, Macon DeRossi, and Matt Verito. I won the coin toss and I'm going to start us off here and going to throw a Anheuser line with Zombie. Pretty happy with the shot just outside of the circle. Matt throws the more traditional hyzer route and ends up about the same. We're both probably about 40-45 out. Here's my approach, just laying up, trying to get the par. Matt's a bit closer than me. Looks like he's probably about 40 out or so. He's running this putt. Looks like he's going to try to take an early lead. A good run, unfortunately, off the cage. Luckily, we both sat for easy par tap-ins. Hole 2 is basically the same line for me, same disc, same Anheuser line. I get some good reaction off of the palm tree there next to the basket, and it sits pretty close, probably about 15 feet from the basket or so. Matt's is going to take again, the more traditional line, straight at the basket, kind of hyzer line. Unfortunately, lets it go a little early and squares that tree in the center of the fairway. Here's his approach here, probably 150 feet out or so. Looks like he's got a putter and just doesn't get over enough on it. And it puts it out, probably edge of circle for his approach. Here's my drive, gonna attempt my birdie. Slightly obstructed, but relatively close, 10-15 feet or so. Good birdie. Matt's going to come up for his par putt. About edge of circle, maybe 25. And off the basket, so that's 2 in a row. 2 holes in a row, Matt's been off the basket. But Matt's a solid player. He'll find the change soon enough. Hole 3, I'm throwing a Challenger OS, and I just throw it into the dirt. And it looks like Matt's throwing a mid. He's going to show us the correct line with this basket. Pretty straightforward. Maybe a little bit too much hyzer on it, but he's sitting right at the edge of the circle. Here's my 80-90 foot approach. Again, just laying up, trying to make sure Matt doesn't get too many strokes on me on this hole. Matt's edge of circle, looking at a birdie. And for the third time, Matt's into the cage and gonna have to settle for a par again. They didn't get one on me there. Hole 4 is a relatively short one. I'm throwing a zone and hits the lock, hits the post at the base of the ground. Matt's gonna throw a different line, one we don't usually see. Is gonna be a sky hyzer over top of the trees. And he gets a real good line on it. Unfortunately, doesn't get the play through the trees he's looking for. They were seeing him retrieving his disc. Actually didn't come down, but he's right at the edge of the circle, maybe 28, 27 feet. And, now he's gonna have a comebacker, probably even longer, maybe about 30 feet or so. But he catches that one in for his par. Getting ready to set up for my birdie look. I'm well inside the circle here, probably 25 feet or so. Looking to take another stroke on Matt. Nothing. Next hole here, again, I throw my shot right into the dirt. This is going to be a tough one to save par on, being only 100 feet in front of the tee pad. Matt's lining up a backhand. Looks like he's throwing a mid, maybe a fairway driver, and just tears the gap. He's He's sitting really good. Outside of the circle, but definitely a birdie look. Here's my approach. I didn't really have much to look at. Just found a small hole and tried to hit it. Got probably I cut the distance about half. Here, very low ceiling. Didn't think I had a chance to run on the putt, so just turned the putter upside down and let it slide up there. Here's Matt's birdie look. He's probably about 50, maybe 55 feet away, and hits the chains and falls out. But he puts his next putt in for par. Gains a stroke on me here as I'm putting for bogey. Matt puts a good line on this drive here. We thought he hit the basket. It came pretty close. I'm pretty sure that he hit the pole or the basket. He's sitting basically underneath it. It tapped in birdie. Both throwing mids. I have a buzz. I put a good line on it as well. Come up a little short, maybe about 15 feet from the basket. Drop that one for a birdie, and Matt has a literal tap in for his birdie. On to the next one. Hole 7, short hyzer. A little bit of grip lock from Matt there, throws it out wide. He's probably 40, 50 feet past the basket. Throwing his zone again, and just put it on a pretty straight line, hyzer line, right towards the basket. Crash into the palmettos right there, right in front of the basket. Matt trying to save his birdie. It has a backstop there, so he felt confident running that one. I make good on my birdie putt, and Matt's it. Next hole we have Will Reed recording for us. So you can see us in the back there driving. I went for this hyzer route. Will, I guess, didn't feel like recording that one. So it landed over there to the left, OB, but then bounced in. I was safe by an inch or two. Matt's going to take a very tough line, a flex line, mid-flex line that comes. You'll see the disc coming straight at Will. Buzzes the basket. And unfortunately for Matt, came through so clean that he went OB long. But he's got about a 35, 40-foot putt back to the basket. Again, has a backboard behind the basket, feels confident running it without not too much of a comebacker. Here's my bid, just again, knowing that I'm getting a stroke on him, and felt it was best to just kind of go for the par there and lay up. So Matt puts his bogey putt in, and I'm putting in, getting ready to put in the par putt. A hole 9, I'm throwing the Challenger.
Oh, get in.
Put a good line on this one. Came really, really close to ace in that one. Got a good palm tree behind the basket and set me up for about a 15-foot putt. Matt, I think, is throwing a rock here, flat top rock. Nice hyzer flip, flex line, and he thinks it's in. We're all thinking it's in. And from our view, it looked like it went straight through the basket. Unfortunately, it looks like he went behind it and ended up about 30 feet long back in the swamp back there. I got very fortunate to hit this palm tree here and set me up for an easy birdie. Unfortunately, I don't take advantage of it, and gotta settle for a par on this one. Matt has quite a long comebacker coming up. He's probably outside of the circle, button back, maybe circle's edge. Matt's a good par. Next hole, I got a little bit of an early release, but I got some good action out of the trees and set me up pretty good, right at about circle's edge. Matt's looking to do the same hyzer line, baskets to the left side. You want to kind of go through those two trees you see there in the center of the fairway. Matt puts a real good bid on his. Looks like he hyzers out, sawed off a little early, and he's probably 50 or 60 feet short. So saw his approach there. Looks like it hit the basket and ended a few feet away. I made good on my birdie putt. Matt's coming in to tap in for his par. Next hole, we used Will's services again. Had him go down to the bend. You're gonna see that looks like I'm driving first, and just didn't put enough air on it, not enough hyzer. Didn't get it to hook up quick enough, but sitting good for probably 50, 60 feet out. Matt's looking to put a better line on this, and he does. Got some air on it, more hyzer, and he's sitting really good, probably about 10 or 15 feet out. My putt for 2, and it drains, so that's a 50-foot putt. Just really was just worried that Matt was going to gain a stroke on me there, but misses his putt. And, it looks like I got one to do on that one. So this one here, I throw a putter out there, and unfortunately I'm about 40, 50 foot long. Matt's looking to put it closer here for sure. Very short hole, very easy hole. Got a nice shot here right over the tops of the grass, the palmettos. And unfortunately he's a little short, but he's got about a 25, 30 foot putt here to cash his birdie. That's it. I've got about the same distance, tied up against the tree here, but not really in the way. I hit chains and out. So it looks like Matt's getting one on me on this one as I come in to tap in for my par. Next hole, Matt's showing us just the on a rope mid. It's right, it's sheared right down the fairway. He's sitting probably about 10 feet away for an easy birdie. I'm throwing a buzz, trying to do my best to do the same thing. Got over on mine a little bit, but it still made it clean. It tested the edge, tested the ceiling, tested the right side, but it did make it clean. So Matt puts his birdie putt in, and I'm going to step up for my attempt here. So again, Matt and I both got the birdies there for another star frame. Hole 14 is a little treacherous, got a little pond right where Matt will cut into the woods. It's like he's just in front of it. I'm going to go a little more aggressive, try to get over the pond. Throwing a high-speed driver, just about 40%, to try to use as much of the glide as possible to get over. Matt puts a good bid on this one. Thinks it's in, hits the basket, chains, and falls out, unfortunately. Mine was pretty heavily obstructed. Didn't quite get where I needed to be. Matt with the selfie putt for his 3. That's a good par save. Driver tapped in for my 3. Matt's drive on this hole is looking pretty good. Unfortunately, it is a little late release and catches that shrubbery on the right side. Mine's the opposite, the early release and catches it on the left side. It's pretty much jail left or right on this hole if you're off the fairway. Luckily, I found a good flex line and was able to put it up about 20, 30 feet past the basket. Matt pushed relatively far through the woods and had an easy approach. My par attempt hits the basket, falls down. Matt makes good on his par and gives me the bogey. Matt has the box now. Puts a real good line. I believe this is a MD3. It's a real good line on that. Makes its way through all that. Little sawed off, but finds a way through. He's sitting right in about circle's edge. I'm throwing a Raptor. And I didn't quite get enough hyzer on it, but I punched through. I'm sitting probably about 40, 45 feet away to the right side of the basket. Can't see Matt in there. He is there. There's his putt, comes out and makes good on his birdie. doing my best to try to put one in. I hit the chains and fall down to the ground. Makes the par, easy par. Matt takes the common line here, straight at it. It puts a good bit on it, right over the basket. Went about 20 feet long. I'm going the Sky Hyzer route with the overstable mid. It's got a good line on it and hits right next to the basket and sits up, checks up for me pretty good. Matt puts in his birdie, and I'm looking to do the same. Unfortunately, both of our phones died, so we weren't able to provide coverage of the hole 18. I ended up taking a double bogey with an OB stroke. Matt came, put a good line on it, put it just outside of the circle, missed his birdie putt, and got the par. Thanks to Matt for a great round. Thanks to Will for helping us out throughout the round. And thank you for watching. See you on the next one.